Yeah,
Other than that, I haven't, actively hurt anyone. Well, actually, I've never
uh,
done that here.
just
yeah. I can't. That's a really good defense for you, but I can't use that one either.
yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Well, talk about all the good that you're trying to do in the state, the businesses that you're trying to build
Yeah.
for the people, and um, that's an angle that you could go in on, Robert.
All right, we'll just wait on the accused then, whenever they're ready.
Mhm.
Are the three of you ready as well?
Yeah.
Ready as I'll ever be, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a moment, we'll get started. Get a drink of water. Okay. We'll go one at a time. Mr. Allen, on Miss Siggy Durrani, what sentencing would you recommend and why?
I'm gonna be recommending that possible maximum that you can give her. She's part of a gang that has committed many attempted murders, kidnappings, bank robberies, and chaos throughout the entire state. I'll be recommending a maximum time. She broke out a man that was under death sentence orders, under first-degree murder, and he proved that he had no remorse for that murder and broke out a man that may commit more and more. I believe she should get maximum.
All right. Miss Siggy Durrani, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, we've experienced a lot of death recently in our gang, and we were in a state of disarray and mourning, and the, we just tried to wrap our heads around Jimmy's potential death, and that we couldn't let that happen. That would be too much for us, and we acted irrationally. I would like to state that we didn't hurt anyone in the process, and we treated our hostages with the respect we could. We tried to keep them as comfortable as possible. And I would also like to add that me personally, I've never hurt anyone in the state, and you can see that on my record. I've done store robberies, I've done a failed bank robbery. The only time I've taken anyone hostage was the failed bank robbery, and we let them go. And once when we took John Reed, but only to talk, and then we handed ourselves in. I've tried to be as compliant as I can whenever I've interacted with the deputies. I've never run or acted out aggressively towards them. I I would like to think that I'd be willing to take years, depending on the Honourable Judge Winter's discretion, whatever she deems fitting, but that is my stance on it.
All right. And would you all prefer I give all your sentencing at the same time, or would you rather me do them one at a time?
It's up to you, ma'am.
Mr. Allen, do you have any preference?
No, I do whatever you want to do, Your Honor.
All right. Well, okay. I'll just do them all at the same time.
Hmm.
All right. On the topic of Mr. Robert Murdoch, Mr. Allen, go ahead.
I am going to recommend maximum time for him too. He is part of the same gang as Jimmy Hirsch and these other two standing before you. Though he hasn't committed any violent crimes, he has been a part of every single thing that the remnants do, complicit in all the acts. And he has kidnapped before, and he has broken out a man that has committed murder and might do the same again and again, not sure. Broke out a man that has no remorse for what he did. Murdering a man in cold blood, execution style.
And Mr. Murdoch, what do you have to say for yourself?
Now, I can understand from your perspective, the remnants are just another gang. But to us, we are a family. Jimmy, he is my brother. I consider him my brother. Well, we have the same man we consider an adoptive father, and I couldn't see him condemned to death. I've certainly done some bad, but I do try and be good when I can. I try and help where I can. I ain't trying to excuse my actions. I understand they're bad. I understand that it ain't normal for people to do what we done. But Jimmy would have been the third person we lost, and we had another dying. Well, in a coma, potentially dying, but he managed to pull through. So we were looking at losing 4 people from our family, and Jimmy was the only one we weren't totally powerless over doing something about. So I guess I did what I did for my family, and that ain't an excuse. I just couldn't see another life lost over something that I partially blame myself for.
All right, Mr. Murdoch. And Mr. Allen, if you want to talk to me about Miss Dragner, go on ahead.
Oh, Your Honor, Miss Dragner, she has a very long history of crime in the state, that being numerous violent crimes. And she has made it clear that she'll do anything for her family, like the other 2 here. She'll do anything to break out a family member that has committed first-degree murder. That family member that, again, as I've mentioned before, has no remorse for what he did, the act of first-degree murder. And she will do it again and again, like these other 2. They'll do anything to keep him alive. A man that has committed first-degree murder, I think, is a danger to the state. To have a man like that running around as an outlaw, and them 3 here helping him. So I'm going to recommend max time for her as well. Keep her in here as long as she can.
Miss Dragner, go on ahead.
I hate to sound redundant, but like what the other 2 said, I can't speak for Jimmy. He murdered Kragen, and Kragen was my ex-husband, and that was hard enough to take. And with all the deaths that were happening, and my brother Boone in a coma at the hands of Kragen, I wasn't sure if he was going to make it through, and I had to watch him bleed out and say he was sorry for it. And then I had to find out that Jimmy murdered Kragen, and that in itself was hard because I desperately wanted Jimmy to take a better path and to clean his life up after the first trial for first-degree murder. And when I knew that he was going to die, I broke inside a little bit. I honestly could not see where or how I was going to take another step forward, losing both my brothers and Jimmy, who I felt connected to the most. He had always been there for me and had my back when times were hard for me. So when he got that death penalty, I became very irrational, and I'm not one that seeks out to be violent, or wakes up in the morning and thinks, who am I going to kill, or just a trigger happy individual, despite what people want to think. I want to be kind and try to do some good things for the state. It just happens where people are pushed into situations where they need to act on it. And unfortunately, with my brother facing firing squad, although I wanted to be there reassuringly for him, to give him love and to try to be supportive when he was going to meet his maker, I instead decided to try and give him an extra day to live. And I'm not proud of my actions. Any of them in the past. I'm not proud of being violent, but sometimes it happens. And as Siggy liked to put, even though y'all might scoff at it, we did try our best to be as amenable with our hostages as we could. And I'd just like to ask, what would you do for your family? I mean, maybe not go to the lengths that we went to, but in that time when things are so bleak already, sometimes people go to very far measures to try to save the ones that they love. And yeah, I honestly I don't have anything else to say about my character. I know that y'all have books upon books of text as far as what I've done and who I am, but I leave it up to you, Your Honor, to deem what my sentence would be.
All right. I have a couple questions for you all, if you don't mind.
Not at
Yeah.
all, Your Honor.
Which of you would say takes the most responsibility for what happened at the execution?
I do. I'm the leader of my group.
If given the chance to do it all over again, would you do the same thing? Be honest.
As in, roll back time, would we do it again?
Yes, or if presented another opportunity to do the same thing, would you do it a second time?
Honestly, I honestly, yes. I probably would.
And what about you, Mr. Ani?
I can't honestly say if I know.
And what of you, Mr. Murdoch?
If the circumstances were similar to last time, most likely, yes.
Oh, okay. If I'm not mistaken, I was the judge that proceeded over the Mr. Frederick McCarthy trial, which you were all relatively victims of. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor.
So you understand that I don't care if you wear a badge or if you wear stripes. I'm going to treat you as fairly as possible. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Yes,
we
Your
do.
Honor.
Because I saw that justice was handed out that day as well.
We do as well.
And I think there was one more thing I wanted to ask. Oh, do you understand the consequences of your actions and what the position you've put Mr. Hirsch in now is?
Yes, yes, Your Honor, we do. We know that if he gets caught, he is going to be immediately taken to the gallows and put to death.
You understand that no one's going to come here and fetch you and go let you watch, right?
Yes. Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jimmy
Yes,
will
we know.
die alone and without your support or presence he should be caught while you're in this prison.